Welcome, beautiful soul, to day 15, and today we're going to do one of probably the best postures for the throat chakra. We're going to do plough pose. I'm going to show you two ways of doing this. Now, if you have any neck problems and it causes you like sharp pain, just does not feel good for you, then I'll also show you an alternative, legs up the wall. Now, I can do it without a cushion, but I prefer with a cushion. Now you can have a folded up towel, it really doesn't matter. This thickness I find is absolutely perfect for my neck. So in plough pose, I want to make sure that the shoulders are on my cushion. So my head is on the floor. Now the point of the cushion there, the support, is that there's no strain on the neck. Now I'm going to come into plough pose if we just move Miss Lulu out the way. Now, I'm going to reach over and you can use support. So in plough pose, we bring the legs towards the floor, we wiggle the shoulders together. Now, it doesn't matter if you start off here with the legs not quite touching the floor. Now, the weight wants to be in the shoulders. So your head is off the support, your shoulders are on the support, there's space underneath your neck. You can keep the arms to the floor behind you. You can bring your hands to your lower back to support you. You can interlink the hands or wiggle the shoulders together. And you can let the legs be nice and heavy as they start to come towards the floor. And you may find after a couple of breaths that they reach the floor. If they do reach the floor, you can rest on the tops of the toes, or you can tuck the toes under and stretch through the legs. Just make sure you're pressing the arms down into the mat. You can stay here and breathe. Another way of doing plough pose, if that is too strong, is to use a chair. And you're going to rest your legs on the chair. You're going to bring your legs to the chair like this, so you may need to play around with it to get it in the right position. So you're still getting that pressure on your neck and your throat. Again, you could do the same with the arms, either arms out behind you to your lower back, or interlinking your hands, pressing your arms into the floor. And we're going to stay here for a few good breaths. So choose your position. If you need to come out before I say so, then do so. If not, just stay here, breathe, eyes closed. I'm going to come out so I can talk. But again, this is a great stretch for the spine, as well as putting pressure on your, or when I say pressure, not like strong pressure, I mean activating your throat. It's great for your thyroid as well. So if you're in need of a bit of an energy boost, this is a really great way to do that. And whilst you're here, if you wish, you can bring in an affirmation, such as I'm learning to express myself in a way that feels good to me. I'm learning to express myself in a way that feels good to me. Now, if you're not used to spending time in plough, using the chair is a great way to make it more of a restorative pose. So a restorative pose is where you stay a little bit longer. You may stay literally a couple of minutes, and you'll find that you've stretched deeper and deeper into the posture. It's great for stretching the nerves and connective tissue all along the spine. And also, as you're doing that and as you're repeating the affirmation, notice how it feels in your body when you say that. I am learning to express myself in a way that feels good for me. Because as I say, we often struggle to say the things we really want to say. You know, we're worried about upsetting people. You know, we want to be really PC. We don't want to offend anyone, or or sometimes we feel like we can't open up, and we end up, you know, saying things or keeping quiet, you know, biting our tongue, that kind of thing, and it's really not good. And as I've said before, it's not about just shouting our opinions and giving them when they're not wanted. It is just having that freedom to say what feels true for you, but to also have the courage to change your mind, and also have the courage to say, you know what, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, and it's okay that I don't know. You know, having a beginner's mind and having the willingness to be always asking questions rather than saying, this is how it is, da, 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 da. You know, we all know those kind of people who are very rigid in their beliefs, and it's like, no, this is how it is, da, 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 and that's it. They're very kind of narrow-minded, whereas I always come from a place of like, well, what if this, what if that? Oh, how does this work? Da, da, da. And it's like children are always asking questions. You know, why? And we end up getting fed up with them. You know, oh, for Christ's sake, because it is. You know, we want to try and maintain that curious mind. So I'm learning to express myself in ways that feel good to me. Now you can stay here a while longer if you wish. When you're ready to come out nice and slowly, so don't rush. Kind of unroll, and you just bring your feet to the floor for a moment and notice sensations when you come out. So always take a moment to notice all and any sensations when you come out, and say you can stay in it literally for as long as you like, especially if you're using a chair. You can stay there for as long as you like, so it's a great stretch for the spine as well. If either of these two options aren't available to you, another good option is literally just legs up the wall. So getting reasonably close to the wall, literally just legs up the wall, so the blood flow is reversed. Obviously it's not got quite the pressure on the neck, but it is a great way of, you know, coming into an inversion and also kind of semi-preparing your body for the poses. So even if you can do it without support, say I can do it without support, but I much prefer having that support because then there's space behind my neck. I'm not putting that pressure on my neck, and it just feels so much nicer. Now, your mission today, should you choose to accept it, is to write a letter to yourself. Now, it's going to be a free flow letter. So in other words, you're just going to start by writing dear and your name, I forgive you for, and see what comes out. So I'd write, dear Donna, I forgive you for, and just see what comes out. People are often really shocked at what comes out, and it can be quite an emotional thing because sometimes you may not realize you're holding on to pain, to anger, to resentment, to guilt, to shame, to all these emotions. You know, I say we're emotional beings, and there's nothing wrong with feeling certain emotions, but when we are unable to release them, they can become trapped in the body, and that's how they can end up showing up as illness, as aches or pains, or as tumors, things like that. So just see what comes out, and this is just for you. You don't need to show it to anyone. You know, you might just write a few words, you might end up writing loads, but just try it. See what happens. So you don't need to show anyone if you don't want to. It's a very cathartic thing, because we seem to have this idea that as adults, we should have our shit together. We should be fine, we should be sussed, you know, everyone else has got it sussed, you know, we're the only ones struggling. And I'm here to tell you that really is not true, okay? That really is not true. And healing happens in layers. So there may be something that comes up that you thought you dealt with, but you've just peeled off another layer. So don't ever beat yourself up. You know, we spend pretty much the first half of our life accumulating all this kind of toxic stuff, and now we can start releasing it. So if you need any help or support, please reach out, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Much love to you, and that's it from me and Felix.